Does raspberry leaf tea actually work during pregnancy? And if you personally use raspberry leaf tea in your pregnancy, let me know in the comments below what your experience was and whether you felt it worked or not. In this video, I'll go through my personal experience, but also the evidence that exists. I will label it as an ad because I do work with HotieMama, and there is a code just in the comments above if you want to purchase any raspberry leaf tea. They are a woman-led, ethical and sustainable brand that I love to support. And if you are going to use raspberry leaf tea, what you want to do is start by taking 1 cup of raspberry leaf tea a day from 32 to 34 weeks of pregnancy, and then over a number of weeks start increasing it so that you get up to a maximum of 3 cups of tea a day. Women who are diabetic or at high chance of a preterm birth or have a placenta previous should avoid drinking raspberry leaf tea. And if you do find that you start having a lot more tightenings with the red raspberry leaf tea that you are drinking, then it is always worth stopping. If you're ever unsure about taking red raspberry leaf tea, have a conversation with your own midwives. So let's look at the evidence. So this is the systematic review in 2021 of all of the evidence we have. And in the systematic review, 13 studies were included, of which 6 were on humans. Now, the theory behind using red raspberry leaf is that it helps the smooth muscle on your uterus, basically giving it more preparation prior to going to labour and birth, therefore trying to help make your contractions more effective during the first and second stage of your labour, making it quicker and more effective and more efficient. And if a woman has a much quicker first or second stage of their labour, they're less likely to need interventions like breaking waters, having oxytocin in labour and birth. Most of the studies we have are anecdotal, but we do have one randomised control trial that looked at 192 first-time mums. 96 women had red raspberry leaf capsules and 96 did not in the control group. And in this randomised control trial, they found an increase in term births, they found it shortened labour, they found it actually reduced the chance of having your waters broken, it reduced the chance of caesarean births and instrumental births, and there were no adverse effects found. In a retrospective cohort study, so this is where they asked women after they had given birth whether they had used it and what the outcomes were. They looked at 108 pregnant women. They found that 57 had consumed raspberry leaf and 51 had not. And they found the pushing stage, so that's the second stage length, had decreased. They found forceps ventosas were much lower, and having your waters broken was also much lower in who had red raspberry leaf in their pregnancy. So the studies on humans only look at either case studies, so individual women, or they look at retrospective survey designs. In this survey study, after the women had given birth, only 34 out of 600 women who were surveyed had taken raspberry leaf in their pregnancy. And they concluded that women who took raspberry leaf in their pregnancy had a higher chance of having a caesarean birth, about 26% compared to only 9.4% of the control. And interestingly, in this study, they concluded that women who took raspberry leaf during their pregnancy were more likely to have a caesarean birth, but really difficult to be able to determine that given that it's a survey design, it's not a randomised control trial. There was no questioning about how much, when they started taking it, what the dose of the raspberry leaf was taken, and also given that there was only 34 out of 600 women who admitted to taking raspberry leaf in their pregnancy. The final 2 studies, one was a case study on a woman who was diabetic who took raspberry leaf tea for 2 days, her blood sugars dropped, and so that's the recommendation for women who are diabetic to not take raspberry leaf in their pregnancy. Finally, we have a 2016 study that again surveyed at 315 women, but all they were doing is looking at raspberry leaf during pregnancy and perineal tearing, and they found no effect on perineal injury at all. So we have very minimal evidence overall because women's healthcare is significantly underfunded in terms of research. We are massively failed and let down as women. For women who do not have diabetes in pregnancy, for women who are not high chance of preterm birth, and for women without a placenta previa, we feel with the current available evidence at the moment that raspberry leaf tea is safe to take in pregnancy if you want to. From the randomised control trials, it shows that there is a shorter stage of the pushing stage, potentially a reduction in needing a forceps or a ventouse, and a reduction in needing waters broken or having oxytocin infusion to be able to help speed up labour. From my professional experience, lots of women have sworn by raspberry leaf tea being the success of their quick labours. There are many factors as to why women will have a quick labour or not. Personally, in both of my pregnancies, I took raspberry leaf tea and I had quick, active first stages and second stages of labour in both pregnancies. Whether that's due to the red raspberry leaf tea I had taken from 34 weeks in both pregnancies or not, I will never know. But for me, the biggest thing was knowing that I could do something that might potentially have an impact on how I labour and birth. And it provided me with that sense of control in my pregnancy that I really rated. And for me, this was a low-risk thing that I could do in my pregnancy that might have potentially impacted on my labour and birth. And so I felt really comfortable in taking it. I also love tea, so I love the taste of tea. And this raspberry leaf tea from HotieMama tastes incredible. It's brilliant. Having tried to actually make my own raspberry leaf tea, which tasted disgusting, can I just point out, this is absolutely incredible, and I still drink it today because I love the taste of it.